everybody! I know I'm a few days late, but I have finally got my October wrap-up and November TBR for you guys. In the month of October, I read 6 books, which is one of my better months. I actually had most of the books either on my Kobo or from the library, so I don't actually have most of the physical books here with me. But anyways, the first book I read I actually started in September and finished in October, so that's why it's on my October wrap-up list. It was Numbers by Rachel Ward. In one of my previous videos I mentioned it. I gave this book 3 stars out of 5 because I expected more action and events to come out of it, and it was dull up until the last few pages. And yeah, so that's why I gave that one 3. The second book I read was Cinder by Marissa Mayer. I gave this one 5 stars out of 5. I loved it so much. It was really good. And now I understand why Mallory and Allison were on my butt about reading it. It's so good, and I definitely recommend it to everybody. It's a retelling of the Cinderella story, and it's just so good. Just go read it right now if you haven't. The third book I read was 10 by Gretchen McNeil. This book it really fit the category of October for the scary books. This one kept me up at night, and it was just messing with my brain. It's actually kind of a retelling of the story And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And it was just kind of more in a teenager perspective, and it was really good, and I did not expect the ending at all. It blew my mind. I'm definitely going to write a review on this one. I also gave this one 5 stars out of 5. The fourth book I read was 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad. This one also was pretty creepy for the month of October, which is fitting. The ending also was just unexpected. It was like, what just happened? And I definitely think if you want to read kind of a creepy read, you should pick this one up. And I gave this one 4 stars out of 5. The fifth book I read actually is not really so much as a story as just a book. I don't know how to explain it, but it was Confessions of a Guidette, or however you say it, by Snooki. I picked this one up for $7 at Chapters, and I actually loved it. Like, the inside, it's like pictures and like her favorite part of the year and just stuff like that, like where she likes to go on vacations. Personally, I don't watch Jersey Shore, but it was actually really good. And I have one of Snooki's, like one of her storybooks, so I think I'm going to read that soon actually, because this one was pretty good. And then the last book I read was Gossip Girl Psycho Killer by Cecily von Zigazar. I loved the Gossip Girl book. If you haven't seen the video in which I read the book, the actual book, then you should know that I love it. And I had such high expectations for this book that it just let me down so much. It was just not what I was expecting at all, and I assumed that there would be so much action, and the main plot was basically that Serena was going to just do anything that she could to get her best friend back, who's Blair. But I don't even know how to explain it, and it was just really bad, and I didn't want to continue reading it, and the ending was awful. Oh my god, I couldn't handle it. I gave this one 3 stars out of 5 because it was the Gossip Girl story that we know and love, but it was just not what I was expecting at all. So yeah. So that's all of my books that I read in October. And now for my November pile. If you guys are following the blog or Twitter or anything like that, you should know that Allison and I are doing NaNoWriMo this month. And I'm actually at 16,000 words already, so I'm a few days ahead. But my plans for reading are not very high. I don't think I'm going to get much read. So the one book that I really want to read this month, I've mentioned this in so many videos that I'm going to read it, but I haven't read it yet. And the theme for this month is new series. So I picked Matched by Ali Condi, and I want to read it very badly, and Allison's talking about the third one that's coming out, and so I think it's the perfect time to pick this one up and read it. I have pretty high expectations for it since Mallory and Allison both liked it, I think. I think Mallory liked it as well. I know Allison loved it. So that's my biggest goal for the month, is to conquer that book. And if I have time with writing and school and work and everything, I'm going to also read Trapped by Michael Northrop. This is pretty much what Canada looks like right now, or at least where I live. Like, outside you can't even see anything, it's just white. This one's about teenagers who get trapped in school from a snowstorm, and I'm very excited to read it. Sorry, that's the dog in the background again. Then I have 2 other books that, like, maybe I could read if I have time. I would like to read them because they kind of have to do with the story that I'm writing for NaNoWriMo almost. The first is The A-List by Zoe Dean. And this is about a girl who goes to live in California, and her life just is great, and she meets this guy, and she might be in love, and like all that kind of stuff. So it kind of has to do with my story, kind of not. And then the last book I actually don't have with me. It is Famous by Todd Strasser. This is one that I picked up from the library previously but never got to read it, and I love the idea. It's about this girl who's a paparazzi, and she's kind of like, I don't know, I think she might be living with one of the famous people that she has to take pictures of. Then something goes wrong, and there's like these pictures, and she doesn't know where they came from. But yeah, so those both have to do with my story, so I'm going to see if I can get around to reading them if I have time. If not, then what can you do? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know what you thought about them. Also, if you're doing NaNoWriMo, add me as a writing buddy. My name is bonjourmarissa. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything. Happy reading, guys.